Coming up on District Wire News, why American University students won't be allowed to smoke on campus anymore.
Also after the break, we have a preview of the upcoming matchup between the Redskins and the Giants.
Welcome to District Wire News. I'm Shamar Walters.
And I'm Neeti Upadhye.
Earlier this morning on Nebraska Avenue, 21 people, including 18 teenagers, were taken to the hospital after a 4-vehicle crash just 2 blocks away from American University's campus. The limo bus was traveling westbound when a car traveling in the opposite direction veered into oncoming traffic, causing the bus to swerve. This caused the bus to be struck by 2 other vehicles. The bus was carrying students from Friendship Heights Metro to the Field School when the crash occurred. Authorities say a 14-year-old boy was immobilized at the scene after he was ejected from the rear of the bus. Full stomachs after Thanksgiving dinners seem to put people in the mood for some real shopping. Customers flocked to stores on Thanksgiving Day to scoop up doorbuster deals. A record 247 million shoppers visited stores and websites in the post-Thanksgiving Black Friday weekend this year. That's 21 million more people than last year, according to the National Retail Federation. But that does not mean everyone spent money. Sales slipped down nearly 2% from last year.
The Saturday after Thanksgiving has become known as Small Business Saturday. The shopping day was spearheaded by American Express in 2010, and it's meant to give small businesses a spotlight after Black Friday. This Saturday, President Obama brought Christmas presents at a bookstore in Arlington, Virginia to celebrate the day, taking daughters Sasha and Malia along for the ride.
And if you thought the shopping was done, you're wrong. Today is Cyber Monday. The term was coined in 2005 by a shopping trade group that noticed online sales spiked on the Monday following Thanksgiving. Cyber Monday is expected to be the biggest online shopping day of the year for the 3rd year in a row. Americans are expected to spend $1.5 billion today. That's up from $250 million last year.
Universities in the D.C. area are considering going smoke-free. Shefali Kapadia has more on American University's decision and how students feel about the tobacco ban.
More than 700 universities across the country have banned tobacco products and smoking on campus. And now American University is following suit. Currently, smoking is prohibited in the buildings on American University's campus. When people are smoking outside, they must stand at least 25 feet from building entrances.
Secondhand smoking is a big deal. I grew up in a household where my parents did it all the time. One place I don't want to do it is college.
AU President Neil Kerwin issued a memo in early November about the risks associated with secondhand smoke. After several years of research and discussion, the university has decided to go smoke and tobacco free. Many students feel that the smoking ban is a violation of their rights.
This is a very smoking-oriented campus. There are like lots of the student body, faculty, the TDR workers, public safety even smoke. So I don't even know how they're going to enforce this.
AU will put the smoking ban into effect in August of 2013. For District Wire News, I'm Shefali Kapadia.
Thanks, Shefali. Recent attacks on women in DuPont Circle have prompted DC's Guardian Angels to start patrolling the area. The group is a local chapter of an international citizen crime patrolling organization. 3 women have been attacked in 2 days. All of them were using their cell phones at the time of the attack. While the first 2 women were beaten as well as robbed, the 3rd victim was robbed of her cell phone but left unharmed. The DC Guardian Angels have started handing out flyers and safety tips, saying that they plan to make a citizen arrest if the perpetrator is caught in action.
Despite being nicknamed the Myrtle Capital back in the 90s, Washington, D.C. is now on the track to end the year with its lowest homicide rate in nearly half a century. D.C. has had a reputation of violence and drug abuse for decades, but this year marks the first time the city has recorded fewer than 100 homicides since 1963. While murder rates are down, violent crime remains a problem on the streets of D.C. While many neighborhoods may seem safe, police say attacks are still prevalent in most areas of the city, sometimes even in broad daylight.
Those speed cams are not only annoying, they're also expensive. According to a new report, the cameras have already cost the district and taxpayers millions of dollars. While the cameras have brought nearly $85 million in revenue to the city, it also cost $52 million to operate in only 3 years. According to the report, the Department of Motor Vehicles also broke D.C. law by hiring a private contractor without opening a competitive bidding process, costing taxpayers nearly $9 million in excess fees.
The University of the District of Columbia is requesting $4 million from the city to pay for the severance packages of dozens of employees it wants to lay off. The school plans to lay off 25 faculty and staff members as well as cut 7 departments and 24 majors. According to student officials, these cuts are expensive because of the school's strong union presence. A spokesman says that the school expects the city to pay for the severance packages because its cuts were originally mandated by the city. D.C. Mayor Vincent Gray says he is hesitant to give the university the money due to budget constraints. It's a sad day at the National Zoo, where one of 3 Sumatran tigers has had to be euthanized. Zoo officials say 19-year-old Soyono lived longer than most tigers do in the wild, but zookeepers say she seemed to be suffering from a degenerative spinal disorder that gave her balance problems and caused her to walk more slowly. Soyono gave birth to 7 cubs during her lifetime, and she leaves the zoo with 2 remaining Sumatran tigers, 1 male and 1 female.
D.C.'s own Christmas tree has officially arrived at the Capitol. Santa and Mrs. Claus were on site to welcome the 65-foot tree, which came all the way from the White River National Forest in Colorado. Once secured, the tree will be decorated with approximately 5,000 ornaments, which were handcrafted by Colorado natives to reflect the year's theme of celebrating our great outdoors. House Speaker John Boehner will light the tree during a ceremony on December 4th.
Coming up after the break, we'll tell you about the public outrage that is shaking Bangladesh after a deadly garment factory fire.
Also, the Ravens were looking to win their 4th straight game this weekend. We'll tell you if they were successful after the break.
Welcome back to District Wire News. We now go to Neeti Upadhye for World News.
15,000 Bangladeshi workers are protesting for justice and improved safety measures just blocks from the site of Saturday's deadly garment factory fire. Protesters are blocking a major highway, with some even smashing vehicles, but there have been no arrests so far. The protest is in response to the 112 people who were trapped inside the factory or jumped to their deaths because the company did not follow fire regulations. Survivors report the managers turned off the fire alarm and doors were locked from the outside. The 8-story building did not have even one fire escape. Egypt's Justice Minister says the courts and President Mohamed Morsi are close to reaching a resolution to the political crisis over Morsi's announcement to put himself above any kind of oversight. The first democratically elected president is saying his unchecked power is necessary to implement reforms and protect Egypt's delicate political structure. Morsi's controversial actions have sparked days of violent protests in the streets of Cairo. A total of 444 people have been wounded nationwide since the clashes erupted, with the first death reported last night. 5 days after the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, families in the Gaza Strip are beginning to reconstruct their homes, which were badly damaged by airstrikes. The UN estimates about 10,000 homes have been destroyed, and the situation is predicted to worsen if it is not addressed right away. Citizens are having a difficult time securing construction materials because of the city's tunnels were targets of attack. Israel's pledge to ease its long-standing border blockade will make the process smoother, but there's no firm timeline for lifting the restrictions. China has successfully landed a fighter jet on its first aircraft carrier on Sunday. The J-15 has similar capabilities to the U.S. F-18 and can carry multi-type anti-ship, air-to-air, and air-to-ground missiles. China hopes to be a leading Asian naval power, but the carrier is not expected to be fully operational or ready for combat for several years. Mexico's president is making one last nationalist attempt to simplify the country's name. Mexico is officially named United Mexican States in imitation of America. President Felipe Calderón announced Thursday that he wants to make the name Mexico, saying his country does not need to copy anyone. The new constitutional reform will need to be adopted by both houses of Congress and a majority of Mexico's 31 state legislatures. Thanksgiving is always a big week in the world of sports. Shamar, I know you watched your share of football this weekend. Do you have any updates for us?
I certainly do. All right, let's get started with some college football. All eyes were on Notre Dame's Fighting Irish this weekend as they were prepared to take on the USC Trojans with their perfect record in hopes of a national championship on the line. You know what they say about pressure, right? Well, it made diamonds out of the Notre Dame as they won 22-13. They'll finish the season with their first perfect record since 1988. More importantly, they're going to play for their first national championship in 24 years. Applause is certainly due. On to the pros now. The Baltimore Ravens were hoping to get a little sun in their fourth straight win when they visited the San Diego Chargers on Sunday. But one of those things almost didn't happen. The Purple Birds were down 13-10 in the fourth quarter when on fourth down, Joe Flacco checked down to Ray Rice for a 29-yard catch and run that led to the game-tying field goal. The Ravens would go on to get their ninth win of the season in overtime by a score of 16-13. A 15-year-old boy suffering from Burkitt's lymphoma had his dreams come true this weekend, getting the chance to hang out with his favorite team, the New York Giants. Not only did Adam Merchant attend the Giants game against the Green Bay Packers on Sunday, but he was given the opportunity to say a few words to the team before the game. His message? Play like champions. And that they did as the Giants steamrolled the Packers by a score of 38-10. The Giants are 7-4 this year, which puts them just 2 games ahead of our beloved Washington Redskins in the NFC East standings. But should the Redskins beat the Giants at FedEx Field next Monday, they'll be just 1 game out of the division lead. Stay tuned because some things could get interesting towards the end of the season. Rounding out sports, we have a wonderful act of selflessness by 2 Indianapolis coach cheerleaders. They volunteered to shave their heads in front of a sold-out stadium on Sunday to support head coach Chuck Pagano. The coach was diagnosed with cancer earlier this year. So far, the event has raised more than $22,000 for cancer research.
It takes a lot of confidence to shave your head, let alone in front of an entire stadium.
Absolutely, but the team has just been great in supporting Chuck Pagano as he's gone through on the long road to recovery.
Vampires, spies, and presidents have combined to bring box offices to even bigger heights this Thanksgiving weekend. Kristen Stewart's portrayal of Bella Swan in Twilight's final installment was #1 again with $64 million made during the 5-day holiday stretch. The Bond adventure Skyfall, starring Daniel Craig, came in at #2 with $51 million, while Spielberg's Civil War biopic Lincoln finished third with $34.1 million. According to Hollywood.com, the 3 films paced Hollywood to an all-time Thanksgiving week best of about $290 million from Wednesday to Sunday.
If you're trying to strike it rich, you still have a chance. No one hit the jackpot in the latest Powerball drawing. For the 15th consecutive time, no winners have matched the numbers drawn. This pushed the prize from the 4th largest in history, $325 million, to a record book-breaking $425 million. The prize is the largest in the history of the multi-state lottery game. The next drawing will take place next Wednesday, so if you haven't bought a lottery ticket yet, remember, you gotta be in it to win it. South Korean music artist Psy has taken the world by storm with his rapping and eclectic dance moves. People all over the world have their eyes glued to the screen. Most recently, his song Gangnam Style is YouTube's most viewed video of all time. The video from the Seoul-born rapper passed the 805 million view mark. The hit surpassed Justin Bieber's Baby by a couple million views. Bieber's hit Baby had been on top since being released 2 years ago and was overthrown by Gangnam Style despite its song release only a few months ago. Don't lie, you've watched it too. So you only have yourself and a couple other million people to blame. On again, off again. It seems Rihanna and Chris Brown may be back together once again. Rihanna has claimed that her controversial relationship with Chris Brown is not anyone's business. That hasn't stopped the superstar from dropping hints on her social media. On Saturday, the Diamond singer shared a photo of a shirtless Chris Brown on Instagram. Rihanna tweeted, "All alone in my big old jet. See you soon, lover," on her way to spend Thanksgiving alone with Brown. Still, both stars insist they are not back together and are working on their friendship.
While we were all busy eating turkey and dressing, things were getting heated between some of your favorite stars. A brutal fight outside of Halle Berry's house between Gabriel Aubry, her child Nala's father, and Haley's fiancé Oliver Martinez got into an argument. After Aubry pushed and hit Martinez, he fought back, striking Aubry in the face. A judge issued an emergency protective order against Aubry, requiring him to stay 100 yards away from Berry, Martinez, and Nala. But Thanksgiving wasn't all bad. Lady Gaga awoke in the middle of the night to fans breaking into her garage and singing the greatest hits to date. Well, that's all we have for today. I'm Neeti Upadhye.
And I'm Shamar Walters.
Thanks for watching.